The skies are dreary on this morning out on Yenicaga Lake. The night was stormy. But that doesn't prevent the fishermen from setting out. Their livelihoods are at stake. The catch this morning is minimal. The nets normally pick up a lot more, including crawfish and carp, say the fishermen. For some time now, they've been greatly concerned about the quality of the water.
The sewage from nearby villages and fields is fed directly into the lake. It all began 10 years ago. We told the mayor, but sometimes things don't work out the way we'd like.
Down by the shore, they meet biologist Çağrı Muluk. He's an expert in lakes and in bogs, which store large quantities of CO2. He's here as part of a climate protection project. What the fishermen tell him is important for his work.
We began the project at the end of 2009. We're trying to familiarize ourselves with the region and see how the lake is affected by the surrounding peat bogs. We're still gathering data, but want to take concrete action as soon as possible.
The essential first step is to build a sewage treatment facility. The lake is the heart and soul of the region. Back in the 1930s, people would still swim in it. But that's inconceivable these days. The biologist collects data at various points around the lake. The subsequent analyses he conducts serve to improve the conservation of the lake and surrounding bogs. In fact, he views the entire area as one ecosystem.
As the level of the lake rises in the spring, the areas currently not underwater are flooded. That leads to polluted water having a negative impact on the bog areas, areas where the fish lay their eggs, for example.
Peat was mined in Yenicaga for a period of almost 30 years. The practice has long since been banned here. The owners of this land have drained off much of the water. But the resulting degradation of the bogs does not just mean that plants and animals are disappearing.
We know that bog areas worldwide act as the best natural storage of CO2. If these landscapes are destroyed due to degradation, there's a danger of carbon dioxide being released into the atmosphere. Right now, half of the carbon dioxide in the world is stored by landscapes like this one. And if they're altered, it leads to CO2 emissions, and that can have a negative influence on the climate.
After 3 years of renaturation, the landscape is gradually recovering. Çağrı Muluk has the task of finding out whether peat mining could be reintroduced without upsetting the ecological balance. A few hundred meters away, Mustafa Yetkin runs his family business, selling peat. The firm was set up 30 years ago. Since the ban on peat mining in Yenicaga was introduced, he's had to buy the peat elsewhere and then transport it here.
Yes, peat mining is now banned here, but in some other regions it's still permitted. We process it and enrich it with other substances, and then we sell it as plant fertilizer.
The project in Yenicaga receives funding from the German government's International Climate Initiative. The aim is to help people secure an alternative source of income. The small town is hoping to attract tourists from Istanbul and Ankara, but that depends on cleaning up the lake. That would also make the fishermen happy, of course. The head of the project in Yenicaga has come especially from Ankara to sign the preliminary contracts with the local mayor. They want to build a sewage treatment plant near the lake, with the materials being paid for by project funds. The town itself would provide the equipment and staff. The mayor is aware of how much is at stake here. He knows that an unhappy population means an unhappy electorate.
We know how important the project here is, and that the issue of climate change is directly connected to our lake. It's certainly important for local people. We're doing everything we can to ensure that the lake is protected.
Improvements to the lake are also meant to benefit subsequent generations. 1 in 3 of the population here is under the age of 14. Elementary school children here took part in a painting competition depicting the lake as they'd like to see it in the future. If all goes to plan, Yenicaga could become an example to follow for the whole country when it comes to environmental protection.
Yaşar Çelik İlköğretim Okulu'ndan 8A sınıf öğrencilerinden Hatice Güneş.